Yes, New York has influenced me to a great degree. It's the city of choice, um, both in that I've chosen it and there are so many choices here. It's one of the most integrated cities in the whole world, and it's very unpredictable and exciting and energetic, and the arts are so heavily focused here, and the media is here, and it's great to live near the Museum of Modern Art, which I do, and not far from the Metropolitan Museum and the Guggenheim and the Frick Collection and all the galleries on 57th Street. I live in the Midtown area in a skyscraper very high up on the 64th floor, and that's always been my dream that's always been my dream as to how to live in New York. In a tall building, overlooking the vast, complex architecture. People think I'm special because I have this huge studio with lots of assistants and I have an unusual way of working. That's absolutely not true. That is not what separates me from other artists, because other artists work in a similar manner. Other successful artists have studios with assistants and everything that I do. The difference with me is, since I don't smoke and don't drink and don't abuse my mind, I don't have a need to lie. I have the confidence to be honest and tell it as it is. So the real difference between me and the rest of the people the people I encounter is my extreme honesty. Now, mind you, I've been all over the world, I sell all over the world, yes. I've been to Japan many times, 5 times. I just got back. I have a huge exhibition there now at the Mitsukoshi Museum. Currently we have about 30 employees here at Kostabi World, and since 1986 I've had numerous other artists working here that have then moved on, like Ron English and Tom Merrick and Cliff Land, to name a few, Sally Randall. Many people choose to work here and then stay. I mean, the first 2 or 3 people I hired are still here. I have work that appeals to probably every age range. In Japan, it was interesting for me to discover that the most popular Kostabi painting was Upheaval, which is an image of a conference meeting where these faceless, anonymous corporate robots are beating each other up with plungers, bathroom plungers, which are instruments used to unclog the toilets of the modern mind.
I guess you could say that coming to New York, I consider to be sort of a necessary step for both my development artistically as well as professionally in terms of career. I was asked before about my paintings and what sort of artists I admire. I'm pretty much geared into abstractionists. I work in an abstract manner, and I concentrate mostly on, right now, American abstract art and what's happened in the last, particularly what's happened since World War II. And my interest concentrates upon reinvestigating a lot of the formal innovations that went on in American abstraction, but giving it back the humanistic element that I think was inappropriately taken out of it, that turned into sort of a washed out formalism that everybody sort of decries at this point in time. I don't think that the answer is a turn to some sort of systemic or approach, a systemic approach, or towards a highly constructed theoretical approach, because once again you are denying your own self in terms of some sort of greater structure that will prevent your subjective viewpoint from coming through. So as far as New York is concerned, you have the opportunity to see art here that you can't see anywhere else in the country, in the quantities and in the quality and in the consistency, both of art that I'm interested in from the past and contemporary art that's going on right now. Actually, one of my best friends is from Hong Kong, and though we work in slightly different styles, our ideas are very similar or often connect. And it's been a very important support group, I guess you might call it, as well as my wife. We're very much in tune with each other about the type of work we do and the discussions that go on. And there are other friends that are very important in terms of understanding what you're doing and you know, appreciating it on a level that's highly sophisticated and requires a good eye, and that you can find here. And that's something that is often harder to find in a smaller community of artists and a smaller community of just general population.
I came to New York in 1978, right after graduate school, and I really had never been to, I had been to New York only once or twice, and you know, it had been probably 15 years since I had been to New York, and I just decided after graduate school to move here, and I came here and lived in a hotel for women for a couple months, and then found a sublet, and just kind of loved the city. Liked being able to see everything, liked the energy, and being around other artists is really important to me. Just knowing that other artists are working sort of gives you the impetus to work too.
Well, it just seemed like New York was it to a degree. I mean, there's no other place that I know of that has the amount of galleries, the amount of artists, the quality of museums, and shows this stuff regularly, other than New York. And there is an energy to the city that can't be denied, and it's very, well, it's invigorating, it's inspiring. So I think New York really does offer something unique.
My painting is very personal, so that my work was much more monochromatic, and then for a year I just spent doing watercolors, and I think that sort of opened my work up to more color, and I'm just very interested right now in very high-keyed colors next to each other. I work in encaustic, which is a wax medium, and I build up the layers. And I kind of see them as sort of that they have their own history, and I build up layers and I break the layers down and I scrape out areas and I expose hidden layers of things. And I like looking at work a lot. That's really important to me, is to, you know, museums, but also, you know, I'll go down to Soho, I'll take David to a kiddie park, and on the way we'll go to a couple galleries, and it's really sort of a part of my daily life, part of my daily routine. And I think that I get a lot of inspiration from looking at work, and it helps me looking at other things, other painting, helps me clarify what I'm searching for. So in a way, it's a kind of, I guess just
A dialogue or something? Or
it is a dialogue, but it almost, yeah, it's a dialogue, and it just sort of helps me figure out what I want in my work. I'll be working on a painting, and I'll, you know, see the next painting Bill's working on. I'll realize that we're kind of working on the same, like we're maybe using some of the same colors. So it's very subtle, but the influence is there.
David's main focus right now, I guess, is balls, and this is a baseball. So.